Good morning again. Today is Saturday, guys. Hope you have a nice day today with your family and your friends while you are preparing your driving test. So, today, guys, I'm going to discuss to you the show me, tell me question for car drivers. These are the questions that you are expected during your practical driving test. One of these questions. So your examiner will ask you randomly of this question during your practical driving test. So driving test candidates are required to answer two vehicle safety question checks at the beginning of their practical driving test, known as show me, tell me. Show me, tell me. These questions cover basic maintenance and operation procedure for the vehicle being used in the driving test. So, guys, warning, it is very dangerous to perform these safety checks if you are in doubt of what you're doing. So, my advice, if you are in doubt, don't do it. Better to ask your driving instructor. So, today I'm going to discuss to you first show me questions. So number one show me question is this question may require you to demonstrate how to perform basic checks. These are the questions you may be asked and the minimum required for the correct answer. So the number one question is this. Your examiner may ask you that you have to open the bonnet. You have to identify where you would check that the engine oil level and tell me how would you check that the engine has sufficient oil. So guys, you need to open the bonnet and then identify the dipstick, and then what you do is pull it out and then wipe with a clean cloth and then put it back in, and then you have to describe the check of oil level against the minimum and the maximum level markers. So the dipstick is usually colored for easy identification. So the engine should have been off for several minutes and the car parked on a level surface before checking the oil. So when before checking the oil, the level surface is in level. So number two questions that your examiner might ask you during your practical test is, you need to show me or explain to me how would you check that the power steering is working before starting the journey. So you have to show it that before the starting to the journey, you have to slightly move your slightly if the steering becomes heavy system, it may not be working. So before the starting journey, two simple checks should be made. You have to gentle pressure of the steering wheel maintain while the engine is started. Should result in a slight but noticeable movement as the system begins to operate. So when the system is become bit heavy, so it's not be working. And then one supplementary is there is a warning lights on the panel of the instrument. So it may indicate that there is a power assisted steering fault. So you can see that in the panel. So question number three, tell me question number three. Show me question number three, I should say, guys. Sorry. Open the bonnet, identify where you would check that the engine coolant level, and tell me how would you check that the engine has the correct level. So the answer of this question, guys, is you need to identify the high and low marking of the header tank where pitted, or identify the radiator filler cap. And then you describe how to top up the correct level. So this one is the coolant level is bit pressurized and it can be dangerous to unscrew it when the filler cap and the engine is hot. So it's safer to check that the coolant level when the engine is cold. So this one, guys, is better you have to check when the engine is cold. So and then number four, show me question is, Show me how would you check that the parking brake, the handbrake here in the middle, the handbrake. For excessive wear, make sure you keep safe control of the vehicle. So you need to apply firmly the handbrake, and then by applying the handbrake, it will secure itself, but it's not the end of the working journey. So you have to demonstrate that it will secure itself. So number 6 question is, show me how would you check that the horn is working off-road only. So this guy's showing your horn. Don't just press your horn like that, and there is a there is a people around you. You have to observe first, guys, around you. If there's nobody around you and there's no one will harm your horn, especially the elderly people who are walking on the street. Don't just press your horn, because elderly people will get shocked and then they get fall down and then they got accidents. So make sure, guys, before using your horn, make sure that it's safe to do so. It's safe to demonstrate. So I think I got that in my I remember I got that in my test in show me. So the examiner will observe you if you are observing first before you are using your horn. Don't just press it like that, guys. You have to observe first before you press your horn. That's my advice. So number 7 question is, open the bonnet. Identify where the brake fluid reservoir is and tell me how would you check that you have a safe level of hydraulic fluid. So you need to identify the reservoir and then check the fluid level against the low end markings. So when checking the brake fluid level, be careful not to contaminate the reservoir with your dirt, dust, and etc. And then number 8, show me. Show me how would you check that the direction indicators are working. So guys, you need, before you operate this one, you need to switch on the ignition, and then you operate the indicators or the hazard. The hazard warning lights is the triangle on your car. So you have to press that and then you can check the ignition if it's working or not. So, and then number 9, show me how would you check that the brake lights are working on this car. So you need to operate the brake pedal. How about if the examiner tell you if you are alone, and how would you know that the brake pedal is working on this car? How would you know if you are alone? That is the question. So guys, to answer this question, you need to use the reflection of your windows, of your doors, of your garage doors, or you can ask someone to help you to check your brake lights if you want, if there's someone in there, or you can ask your examiner to check the brake lights if it's working or not. So and then show me question is, show me how would you clean the windscreen using the windscreen washer and wipers. So in every car, is different, but my car is this is different wipers. I have to put it on the side like that and then it wipes. So in every car, I think it's different. My one is you have to push it a little bit like that on the top upward. So you may need to switch on the ignition to turn on to answer this question, but there's no need to start the engine. So just your instructor will tell you anyway on where is the windscreen wipers. So and then the next question is, show me how would you set the demister control to clear all the windows effectively. This include both front and rear screen. Your instructor will tell you when is the demister control of the car, because every car is different and it's different location. I think it's different, but it's still the same demister. You can see the same demister. Your instructor will help you and guide you with this. Show me how you switch on the rear fog lights and explain when you use to them. And there's no need to exit the vehicle. You need to operate the switch to turn on the deep headlights and ignition if necessary. Check the warning lights is used. So remember that these high-intensity lights can dazzle the following drivers, and the fog lights should be used only when visibility is seriously reduced to 100 meters. So guys, when you're using your fog lights, remember, on my experience guys, when I use my fog lights, especially during the night time when there's someone incoming with you, you need to turn on your fog light, you switch off again, and then when nobody, you have to turn on again if it's too dark. That's my experience with my driving instructor. So next question is, show me how would you switch your headlight from deep to main beam, and explain how would you know that the main beam is on while inside the car. So operate switch, turn on the ignition, and then you have to operate the switch on and check that the main beam warning light. So remember, you can dazzle also the other drivers then you are following if you don't dip your headlights in good time. So you need also to consider also the other road users when using your deep headlights, your to main beam, because they will dazzle. So be careful in using your main beam, guys. So make sure that you don't dazzle any road users. So now we are going to the tell me questions. So this may require you to open the bonnet. Usually you need to identify the relevant part of the car or engine, and how you describe how you make the safety check. These are the questions you may be asked at the minimum required for a correct answer. So you need to identify, the examiner will ask you, identify where the screen washer reservoir is, and tell me how would you check the windscreen washer level. So to answer this one, guys, is you need to identify the reservoir and explain how you check the level. So you may need to open the manual to answer this question. The reservoir may display the windscreen wiper symbol. Check the reservoir regularly. So the next tell me question is, tell me how would you check that the brakes are working before starting the journey. So you have to tell to your examiner that the brake should not feel spongy or slack. And brakes should be tested before as you set off. So the vehicle should not fall on the other side. So another question is, tell me how would you check that the headlights and tail lights are working. So you need to explain that you have to operate the switch, turn on the ignition if necessary for your vehicle. Then you have to walk around the vehicle. So this is a tell me question. So drivers must check that the lights and indicators are working before using the car. Some cars have sensors that tell you when a light has failed. So it is a good idea if you have a bulb, if you have extra bulb kit in your car. It's a good idea. So another tell me question is, tell me where you would find the information for the recommended tire pressure for this car and how tire pressure should be checked. I remember this guy. This is one of the questions they threw me during my practical driving test. So make sure you know this question for just in case they throw it to you. So you answer it that you have to repair to the manufacturer's guide, and then you have to use a reliable pressure gauge, and then you have to check and adjust the pressures when the tires are cold. So don't forget, including the spare if there is any, and don't forget to repeat the small bob cars of that. So the information of the the tire pressure, you have to pound that in the vehicle handbook. You have to tell to your examiner that you can find that in the vehicle handbook. So another tell me question is, tell me how would you check the tires to ensure that they have sufficient tread depth and their general conditions is safe to use on the road. So you have to tell your examiner that the tire should not be no cuts and no bulges. And there should be 1.6 millimeters of tread depth among the central 3/4 of the breadth of the tire and all the entire circumference. So get into the habit of checking the tire condition pressure at least once a week. So tell me, how would you make sure your head restraint is correctly adjusted so it's provide the best protection of the event of the crash? Some of cars like mine, guys, is not adjusted. So just tell to your examiner that it should be level to your head, or it should be the high as the eye of your top of your ears. So it will provide comfortable to your head. So every car is different. My one is, I told you a while ago, it's not adjusted, so it's very high because I'm a bit short. So this is I cannot adjust anymore, guys. So this is it. This is it. So there is a car that you can adjust in here in this side, and then you put it down if it's too high. But my one is already fit like this. You cannot adjust anymore. So tell me, how would you know that there is problem with your ABS? ABS, guys, is anti-lock braking system. So ABS is should illuminate in your panel, in your panel here in front of it. It will show it with. If you turn on the ignition, it comes on, and if it doesn't come off, there's a problem. If there's a problem with your anti-lock braking system. So that's, and then I think, guys, that's it. That's all the questions that they will throw to you randomly during your practical driving test. So hope you, good luck, guys, to your test. Hope you will pass, and hope you can make it, and hope that you will enjoy the freedom of driving if you pass your tests. Good luck again, and please like my videos if you like it, and subscribe my channel if you can. Thank you, guys, for watching, and see you again next time on my next vlog. See you. Thank you.